Okay, here we go. Here's the notes for 11.6. So we already know that a chord is a straight line that joins two ends of an arc. So like for example, this segment that goes from A to C, that would be an example of a chord. From B to D, that would be another chord. So this first theorem says that if the two chords intersect, then the measure of each angle formed is going to be half the sum of the measure of the arcs of the intercepted angle and its vertical angle. Sounds fancy. Here's what it means. If I know what this angle is, let's call that x, and I know, what this arc is, and I know what this arc is, let's call that y. So if you wanted to know what this angle is that is between those two arcs, you're going to average them. That's what it means. So if you know what these numbers are, you add them up, and then whatever that is, since it was two numbers, cut it in half, and that's going to be the angle that's in between those two. Now, for angle 2, the one that's right here, that's not the angle that's in between the arc AB and the arc CD. This theorem will not get you angle 2. It'll get you this angle right here. Once you have this angle, to get the other one though, you would just go 180 minus whatever this is. So 180 minus angle 1 would give you the other angle if you need it. Let's go through some examples. On this first one, this arc up here is 190 degrees. This little arc down here is 70 degrees. The angle in between them is going to be the average of the two numbers. You're going to go 70 and 190 divided by 2. 70 and 190 is 260, and then 260 divided by 2, we're at 130 degrees. So that means that x would be 130 degrees. On the next problem, same idea. 66 and 70 are the arcs that are surrounding that angle. That angle is right in between them. So you would get the 66 and the 70, add them together, and divide by 2. 66 plus 70 is 136. Then you can divide that by 2, and you find out that x is 68. Next problem, you set it up the same, but it's not going to work out the same, because you're not looking for the angle in the middle, you're looking for one of those arcs. You're going to use the same setup. So you're still going to put the arcs added together, divided by 2, and that's supposed to equal the angle that's in between. You need to get rid of this fraction. You multiply both sides by 2, you'll take care of that. So you'll have x plus 99 equals 144. Now, if you're looking at just this equation, to move that across, you're going to subtract 99. So if you get 144 and you subtract 99, you get 45. That's how you can find x. So x on this one would be 45. The last of these 4 examples, this is again on the outside. So you would set these two up as the ones that are on top of the fraction. The 68 is in between, so that's going to go over here by itself. Again, to get rid of this 2, you multiply both sides by 2, and on the left you're going to have x plus 38. On the right, 68 times 2 is 136. Subtract 38 from both sides, and you get x is 98. This next section says if two chords intersect inside a circle, then the product of the lengths of the segments of one chord is equal to the product of the lengths of the segment of the other chord. Easy way to remember it is multiplying down the segments. So for this one, the 12 and the x are on the same chord. Multiply those together. Multiply down that chord, down that segment. So it'd be 12 times x, 12x. Going the other way, this 12 multiplies with that 6 because they're on the same chord. So that's going to be 12 times 6. On the left side, 12 times x. On the right side, 12 times 6 is 72. Divide both sides by 12. 72 divided by 12, you're at 6. The 12s made it so that it was a little bit too easy. So let me show you another problem that has different numbers, and hopefully it's easier to separate what's going where. On this segment, on this chord, I have 8 and I have x. Those multiply together. On xz, this chord, I have 4 and 6. Multiply those two together. So 4 times 6 is 24. Divide by 8. And you find out the x is 3. On the next problem, bigger numbers, same process. The 12 and the x are on the same chord, multiply those together. 16 and 24 are on the same chord, multiply those together. 16 times 24 is 384. When you divide 384 by 12, you get x is 32. On number 8, you have 5s all over the place. You can probably guess what this is going to be, but we're going to go through the process. 5 times x, 5x. 5 times 5, 25. Divide both sides by 5, and x is what you expected, 5.